This is the Day Show. We have the Queen of the North joining us shortly. Now, she started off taking part in some other pageants, and then after that, she decided to take part in Ghana's Most Beautiful. And not only did she win the hearts of people in the North, but everyone in this country's heart. You voted, I voted, they voted, and well, she emerged queen. And today, she tells us all about her journey. Are you ready for Queen Teiya?
Hi, darling.
Hello, Queen of the North. You look stunning. Have a seat.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Day Show.
Thank you.
You look lovely, I must say. But first of all, I want to understand, because you've had this title, Queen of the North, even before taking part in Ghana's Most Beautiful. And I'm sure you took part in other competitions as well.
That's true.
Tell us about that journey before eventually winning Ghana's Most Beautiful.
Right. So I'd like to appreciate TV3 again for this opportunity. It's always really amazing to be on the best television station in the whole of the country. And thank you all for supporting me all through the competition and supporting my cause. So before Ghana's Most Beautiful, I had contested few pageants, including Miss Intercontinental Ghana in 2019, where I represented Ghana in Egypt, contesting with over 70 different countries. Then in 2020, yes, I tried Miss Ghana, and I really just loved watching Miss World. And you know, you had to win Miss Ghana to contest to Miss World.
Exactly.
And I tried Miss Ghana, but I only made it to the top 5 finale. So I never really won. I didn't place. And then one day I'm going through social media, and I see this flyer that says Queen of the North auditions. They're calling out for auditions, and the title Queen of the North was just so soothing to me. Reason being that a lot of times I got people saying, "Are you really a Northerner? You don't look like a Northerner. You don't."
That's what they say?
Yes.
And I'm wondering, like one. A very beautiful one, you know, at that.
And I'm wondering how we are supposed to look. So I wanted to own the title Queen of the North. And then I contested for Queen of the North. And glory be to God, I won. And this was in 2021. So before Ghana's Most Beautiful, these were the pageants that I had taken part in. Won some, learned from
the others. I'm sure there are people, at the time when you said, I'm going for Ghana's Most Beautiful, you would have friends who say, again?
Yes, of course.
How many pageants do you want to do in this world?
But you see, for Ghana's Most Beautiful, funny enough, it wasn't an again one. Because I had people calling me, texting me, and encouraging me to contest for Ghana's Most Beautiful. A reason being that I didn't feel very prepared for the most prestigious pageants in the country, the biggest pageants in the country. The only pageants where you have a lot of ministers, MPs, traditional leaders. It's an emotional one. And I felt like it was just too big for me, and I wasn't ready for it.
So it's not as if you decided to go?
No.
People encouraged you?
No. So people encouraged me. It was a dream of mine. But I never felt I was ready for it. So people encouraged me. Inclusive is Engracia. Miss Universe Ghana.
She pushed you?
Friend. Yeah, she actually told me that last year that, Teiya, if you don't buy forms, I'll buy forms for you.
You're kidding.
Exactly. So I got a lot of such, you know, encouragement from family and friends. And myself, I've loved Ghana's Most Beautiful. I've admired it. I just didn't feel enough for it.
Yeah, you are with a crown on your head. How heavy is it? Is it heavy?
It's really heavy.
It's beautiful. And it matches your outfit. Did you look at the stone in there?
Right?
Like, you know what? Let me match it. But throughout the competition, and I know we've talked about this over and over, there were days that were difficult, there were days that were fun. But on that night when you were crowned queen, how long did it take you before you finally accepted that I've actually won Ghana's Most Beautiful?
It took me more than a month.
What?
Yes.
A whole month?
It took me more than a month to come to the realization that I actually won Ghana's Most Beautiful. It took me more than a month. And when I remembered, it was around 12 a.m. somewhere in Accra, in my little corner on my bed. And I was just calling and texting few people. Like, I could just call you and I'll be crying. Like, you helped me, thank you.
A whole month after?
It took that long. Because, you know, right after the competition, there's a whole lot going on. So you're still very busy. You're going here, you're doing this, you're doing that. So when I had time you know, for myself. I was alone by myself. And then I realized that the crown was with me. It's not like it's with TV3 and when I want it, they give it's with me.
Yeah.
And this is the Ghana's most beautiful crown. I wept that night. I wept that night. I wept because...
But were you also weeping because you knew that, Charlie, this crown comes with a lot of responsibility. So it's not as if I'm going to walk around looking all pretty.
Yes,
but I have a whole year to transform the lives of people.
Right, which is something that I was even doing before coming for the auditions for Ghana's Most Beautiful.
Okay, tell us.
So in the year 2018, I met one lady at a shaman, a Kaya lady, and that experience just changed me. I wanted to do something about the narrative. What happened? So she had carried this heavy load. At the end of the day, sort of expecting some 10 cedis or more, and then the madam gave her 2 cedis.
Oh.
And she had a baby that hadn't eaten. So she was expecting that from that money she would feed her daughter, and this was her experience. So I walked to her and spoke her local dialect, the Dagbani, and asked her why she was devastated. And she explained her ordeal to me. And instead of buying the food stuff I went to buy for the house, I just gave her the money. Yeah, and I went home.
How much were you holding it? How much did you give her?
It was definitely more than 200 cedis.
You gave everything to her?
Yes, I gave it to her. And when I went home and I explained to my dad, he didn't see why she didn't even give her the money.
Oh, he wasn't obsessed with you?
He wasn't upset. In fact, the next day, we went to look for her, but we never found her. Oh. It's like they never really, at a particular place, I don't know, but we never found her.
Okay.
And since then, I had tried in my own way to help to reduce the rate of it. I know that as an individual, I really cannot eradicate it, but I'll have this fulfillment and I'll be at peace that I also tried to reduce the rate of it. So since then, I've tried women in the north because I believe that preventing them from coming is better than trying to get them out of the markets already, because it's very difficult. Yeah. At the point where they have come already, they're exposed to so many things. It becomes so difficult to succumb to certain things. They want their freedom. And the young girls back at home, when their friends come from Kaya and they come with the latest, you know, costumes and all of those things, they tell them stories that make them want to come there.
What's the real reason? Because I don't know if this is a misconception. Apparently, there are a lot of women who pay, it's the women who pay for their weddings in the north. And so a lot of them have to travel down south to work to make the money so they can go and marry the men. Is that really true? And is that the reason why they come?
No, it's not true at all. It's impossible for a northern lady to marry a man. No.
Is she the one who funds the ceremony?
Not at all. It's just that, I don't know, I'm not so good with chi, but I hear people say, at all plates, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you need some, as a woman, you need some utensils, you need some, you know, those household tools and equipment that you would need to make your home a comfortable one. So yes, the man will bring the dowry, if it has to be kettle, if it has to be kola nuts and all of those things. But then you also want to make your home a comfortable place for you, right? Yeah. And if you don't have the money, what do you do? Carrying loads in the north, it seems to be a normal thing. So imagine if you have no idea about the consequences that come with it. Yeah. And then someone is telling you that you carry loads and then you get paid. You feel like, but this is so easy, I do it at home. So they come down without knowing the negatives that they're coming to face. Yeah. They come with just the idea of coming to carry load and make money. And then they arrive here and they realize that, oh, I'm not home. Even a place to sleep becomes a problem. Yeah. Then they are exposed to so many social vices like the rape and the prostitutions, armed robbery, all the negatives. And to top it all, unfortunately, just in case there's a disease outbreak, they are more prone to it. Yeah. Take COVID, for instance. We all heard and saw in news where they're trying to smuggle themselves, let me say, back to their homes, you know. It was a lockdown and we were all asked to stay in our homes. Now the question, they don't even have homes. So where were they? And when you think about that and you are an emotional person and then you actually are from the north, you can't be comfortable with it. Yeah. You definitely can't be comfortable with it. So with all of this going on, The causes could be the marriage,
Yeah.
and it could be also the fact that our main economic activity is farming.
Yeah.
So after farming, harvesting, and selling of your produce, what next?
What next? Yeah.
Farming is seasonal. It's a cyclical thing. So if it's not a season, what do you do? If you have nothing to do, that is when you're going to have the ideas, okay, I'm going to do this and make some money.
Yeah.
But when you have some vocational skill that will keep you busy and get you to fetch some income here and there, that would help you take care of yourself and your immediate family, then I don't think you even have that idea of coming to go through what they are going through.
So what's your campaign exactly? What are you doing for these women?
So we are sensitizing the women in the north to the dangers involved in the Kaya in the first place.
Okay.
And then after doing that, we don't decide what you want to do for you. So I could ask you, Azara, so these are the consequences. This is what they don't tell you. And we will show you some pictures. So looking at this, what do you think? What do you think you can do to help yourself? Oh, Madam Teiya, I wish I would learn how to sew. If I know how to sew, it will keep me busy. I'll be able to make money out of it. And we have others saying, okay, me, I want to be a painter. I want to learn how to, masonry. We have women now venturing into the male-dominated.
Yeah.
So that is what actually I've been doing since 2019. So this isn't like a new thing for me.
Okay.
Yes, it's just passion. I just want to be able to also reduce the rate of Kaya. Feel like I contributed to this cause.
How many women do you have under your institution, if I could say?
Okay, so this year, my flagship project is the Kaya Lhakani project, which literally...
Kaya Lhakani?
Yes.
What does that mean?
No more Kaya in Dagbani.
Oh,
Yes.
Kaya Lhakani.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so far, we have 85 women under us. Yes.
Wow. And they're all learning different trades.
Different trades.
So from sewing to masonry?
To masonry, to hairdressing, to smock weaving, to liquid soap making, a lot.
How are you funding this? Because this is going to be expensive.
It is expensive, but you see, people in the north have known me to be someone who wants to impact. And they've seen me since 2019. And they know that I'm hungry to change the narrative.
Yeah.
So I write proposals to individuals and then to companies. And honestly, so far, I've had support from individuals.
More than the companies?
Yes. Mostly these are people that are also very emotional about the situation. And then they want to help you. It's an expensive one, but it has to be done anyways.
Yeah.
So we are pushing.
So if anybody's watching now and they're thinking, what can I do to help Teiya at the moment? If I probably have some equipment, what exactly would you be asking for?
I'd be asking for some sewing machines, some hair dryers. I'll be asking for equipment and tools that you need for liquid soap making.
Okay.
And if you, just send us the money.
As well?
Teiya Dahamani Foundation. I have an email. You can contact or reach us on the Teiya Dahamani Foundation at gmail.com, and then we'll attend to you, and then we'll guide you on how to support us.
How has this impacted your life? Winning Ghana's Beautiful, your experiences with the Kaya, running this campaign, what has changed about you as a result of these experiences?
What has changed about me is the fact that now I feel or understand that people are looking up to me. So I can't be anyhow. Like, I have to always check myself and remember that I'm not just an individual anymore. I'm a whole lot of people. People are trying to live their lives through me, actually. Yeah. So it has changed me. It's made me a better person. It's made me, I'm not selfish. I think about others before I do what I'm going to do, or my next move. I need to think about others before I make the next move. And that has changed a lot about me.
If you had to do something differently during your time in the competition, what would it be? If you had to do something different? There's nothing that I would want to do differently.
No? No.
You don't think that there were some mistakes you made, some utterances you made that you wish you would have taken back?
No.
No?
No.
But there's so many young women, and of course young men who are also inspired by you, but they seem lost. And sometimes you see it on social media with the things that people post. You can tell that they're not being themselves.
Right.
They're trying to copy the other people that they are seeing on social media, what would you say to them to encourage them to find their purpose in life and live by it?
As individuals, we definitely know our pros and our cons. You know our SWOTs. And sometimes, if you're not lucky, you definitely get swayed by the wind.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage every young person to be you, because I feel like it's the best way to enjoy life, is the best way to just to live. I feel like trying to imitate or copy people when you're not like that is hard work. It's a lot of hard work, and it's so uncomfortable, and there's no fulfillment in it.
But that brings acceptance to some extent for a lot of people.
I think that for you to even be accepted, you have to accept yourself first. If you're not able to accept yourself first, it's even going to be difficult for others to accept you.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I walk into a room and then I get the tenny, you know,
yeah. That's
comments.
What they say to you?
Oh yeah, before GMB, a lot of that, you know. I went to Phantom Girls, and that was where the Kaya idea even came. Because first weekend in Phantom Girls, and then somebody's asking me if we have story buildings in the north. Yeah, not for the more story buildings or north.
That's what she
said.
And
I was so mad at her, I was so pissed, but I had to understand it at a point, because I realized that, okay, she hadn't traveled out of Accra, out of her region. And then sometimes, a lot of the times, the stories you would see on TV, even about the North, were really rural areas and just problems, which actually isn't. And so I didn't blame her, because the only Northness that she had access to or saw were the ones that she saw in the markets, and they look some way. We all know that. So that is the impression or the pictorial view that she had about Northness in the North. So when I understood that it wasn't entirely her fault, I thought, okay, if these are the people that are exposed to her, that's just an individual. What about the thousands that think like that? So let's try to change the narrative. Let's try to do something about it, so they can know that, no, we are more than what they think we are.
And by doing that, you had to be yourself and showcase.
I've always been myself. Reason why I couldn't wait to have the title Queen of the North. Yes. Reason why I couldn't wait to have that title.
I see.
Yes. So just be yourself, really, so that you can have some self-fulfillment. Because I feel like people who try to imitate others just for acceptance go through a lot emotionally. And that isn't worth it.
Just be yourself, be you. That's very important. And who's taking over from Teiya this year? GMB? Any GMB queen here? So queen of what? Accra? Or queen of where? Western, queen of Eastern. Central. Anyway, well, all the best to you, and please make sure you write your speech for the Deba before you go on audition. You know, okay? Thank you
But
so
then,
much.
actually, Bella, the speech for the Deba came when I felt I was prepared.
So prepare. You're on it. You're writing your speech. That's your first appearance on TV, that first show.
Yes.
You need to know what you're talking about.
True. I agree.
So you can take over from Queen Teiya. But thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
The crown suits you.
Thank you.
It really suits you. Anyway, on that note, Teiya, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Hey, you both want to be queens, eh? One person should come and hug her, because we are transferring the... I said one. That means if you came for auditions, it means you have failed. Hey, wow. I see. Thank you so much, Teiya.
Thank you so much.
You can definitely take your leave.
Thank you.
Well, put your hands together for her.